My name is Cynthia. I'm a renter here in Portland, and I'm really concerned about the cost of housing. I have a job that I love in a place I love to live in, but in order to buy a house that I can afford, I have to move to a place where I'll have to give up my job. Because there's a multitude of factors in here in Portland. Number one, we have, not just in Portland, but all over the country, we have a housing crisis. People who are earning money, who are working here in the city, who cannot find a place to live. There are businesses who have shut down because they can't hire. We have a lot of things to take care of in a city. But this city has focused on developing as, I guess, a vacation land for the rich. My life is very tenuous. I have experienced 2.5 years of housing instability. My house was on the market. The house that I rent from was on the market for 2 years. I looked everywhere and could not find an apartment that I could afford on what I earn now in this area. I looked everywhere. I was applying for apartments right and left. I had to submit credit references. Every time they did that, it hurt my credit. And now I have to move to Cherryfield, Maine. No kidding. I'm looking at a house in Cherryfield, Maine. I have no employment up there, but it's the only place I can afford to live, in a tiny 800 square foot house. Being in a situation of housing insecurity is like being on high alert all the time. You cannot relax because your mind is constantly working in the background. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Your mind plays out scenarios of standing on the meridian, looking, or going to the house, to the shelter with your belongings, or putting your belongings in a storage and wondering where you're going to go. We need to build more housing. I think there needs to be some consideration for the cost of heating housing at this point. We can't continue to burn oil. We need to be transitioning to other forms of heat. I know that the combination of solar and heat pumps can be very efficient in a well-insulated home. Unfortunately, here in the city, I don't know if you can fix it unless you have a lot of federal dollars. It is the responsibility of our federal government, our congresspeople, our senators, to make sure that there is enough federal funding for housing to provide for adequate housing for everyone, and to keep the cost of housing down. I've never heard Senator Collins address the subject of housing shortage and the cost of housing in Maine. As a matter of fact, Senator Collins seems to avoid people, and we have to beat down her door to get a response from her on anything. Many times I have gone to Senator Collins' office, and I have not received back a reply that indicates to me that she really hears my concerns. I don't think Senator Collins understands what people like me live through.